So, after the not so good reception of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Scott had made another one. This time, the real, final FNaF game. Yeah, let's just drop the act, we are not even close to the end of the FNaF story, but Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was meant to be, at some point, the closure of original story, and so I will go into it as if it was the end of this 4-game long tale with no sequels in mind. Despite the fact that Scott himself said that he made this game only because Springer had trash jumpscares and he wanted to do better, in which he succeeded, as in general I believe that FNaF 4 is the best in terms of gameplay and being, scary, since the original Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a high bar in my opinion. And this is all thanks to the setting, in which we need to actually fight back against the animatronics and not simply trick them by putting on a mask or luring them away from us as if we were a little bitch. And yes, it turns out that these 5 years old have more guts than those actual adults. But back to the point, we are not here to talk about the very thing these games exist for. Being just spooky, scary game that is somewhat fun to play as. No, we will not look into that. As we will look at the plot, we will look at the characters, we will look at the secrets. As this is a look back at FNaF 4. This story is of a personal tragedy, of mistreatment and brash youngful stupidity. And it starts with a message from a yellow bear inside of a dark void. What did he do this time? He locked you in your room again. Don't be scared. I am here with you. We are then presented that scene. A young boy locked inside of a bedroom, clearly in distress. He lies on the ground and cries himself to sleep, while the bear assures him that this is nothing but a moment. And tomorrow was another day. It was no better than the one before. We are told by the bear, he's hiding again. He won't stop until you find him. We walk through our home before being jumped by an older kid, and the boy falls once more in shock to the ground crying. Another day, we're taken by a certain him to a local family entertainment center and then left there alone. We heard the bear again, despite being not there. He was telling us, "You are right beside the exit. If you run, you can make it." "No, don't you remember what you saw? The exit is the other way. Hurry and leave." But we were approached by a man in threadbare suit, and in response to that, the bear ordered us to run further into the pizzeria, saying that there is somebody who can help us. Not in customer zone, but instead in the backstage, past the animatronics. But before we could reach that person, the boy gave in to his fear and he fell once more to the ground. Next day we are once again in pizzeria. This time we get to leave uninterrupted to go home, where every single child on our way talks about how miserable we are and how our birthday party gonna be terrible. Once we return home, we're immediately jumped by the same boy again. Next day we get glimpse in the life of the boy again, locked inside of Maiten's room, begging to be let out. But the only answer we get is the same giggle we hear every time our tormentor is near us. And finally, the day that the child dreaded the most, his own birthday. A day of joy that was tainted by the torture he was put into by his own brother. But that was not enough. The boy was surrounded by his tormentors, taken by force to an animatronics before they shoved him into Springlog's jaws, which in the end clenched around his head. From this point the game plays out, in which you go through many nightmares during our stay in hospital between the short recollections of the past. We were attacked by the very characters that our bullies dressed up as that terrible day, and it lasted 5 nights before we were met with the one who caused all of this. BREADBEAR himself was trying to end us, but we stood up to him and managed to fend him off for now. And once more we found ourselves in the void, where we heard the voice of our brother trying to talk to us for one final time. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. He said it just for the pleasure to silence this call from the world we no longer belong to, and it spoke. You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together. And not sure after this, our consciousness slowly faded as all turned to black. From this point, only one thing remains. The 7th night, and the real monster shows up, made of shadows, nightmare. And even despite our victory over it, after all is over, we don't are met with anything but a closed box, with no way of opening it. We are left with one final message. Perhaps some things are best left forgotten. For now. And like that, the story ends. Okay, that was indeed a FNaF game. Though it lacks few components, possessed animatronics and murders inside of children pizzerias. But what if this was all false? That those things were there, hidden in the daylight, right under our noses for all this time. Let me explain. Starting with basic question of where and when does the story take place in, we have actually few different clues about this one. First being the cartoon that can be displayed in one of the minigames that state that it was made in year of 83, and so FNaF 4 must happen at least in this year. But there are more hints about where on our timeline FNaF 4 would place, mainly given that this little girl said, "You do better watch out, I heard they come to life at night, and if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone." This is obviously a rumor about behavior of possessed animatronics, who attack night guards and do make them furious. And I know what you're gonna say. Blah blah, Fungi didn't was there for Freddy Family Diner, but he was for the murders, so Freddy Family Diner must have been closed long before the MCI, and so FNaF 4, which show us Freddy Family Diner cannot happen after MCI. And I'm not going to oppose this idea. I don't think that the missing children incident happened while Freddy Family Diner was open or before that. But I don't think that this is the Freddy family diner, and all the reasoning for it we shall find in FNaF 3. As we can see here, this Fredbear and Spring Bonnie look a bit different from this 83 variation. Mainly how Freddy's bow tie and top hat was black and now is purple. But that is not enough of evidence to reason that Freddy Family Pizza and whatever this is were existing at the same time. Roll the tape, phony!
Hello. There's been a slight change of company policy concerning use of the suit. Don't. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority at BREADBEAR's Pizza.
So there was an sister location where an incident took place that forced the company to stop using springlock suits. The same suits that were known for being able to kill the weaver, and in such cases they asked for the workers to crawl and die in the backroom instead. So I guess it could not be the workers to suffer in this incident, as they were already prepared for this occurrence. I wonder what could be that incident.
Well, this stinks.
So yeah, in short, FNaF 4 happens just sometime after the first few victims of Purple Guy possessed the animatronics and started to behave quirky at night, killing few night guards, stuffing them into sparse suits. And so the rumors about this could flood nearby neighborhoods. Also, this is not the original Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, as these were already stored at Freddy Fazbear Pizza, while these are the knockoff using some off-brand Freddy Family Diner, a sister location to Freddy Fazbear Pizza. I don't know how it's called, Fredbear Pizza Place. Another topic, another secret. Purple Guy in Freddy Bear Pizza Place. Why is he there? What is his role in this story? Well, you'll see. I believe that Purple Guy is a father of both the crying child and his brother. You see that the pair are well into Fazbear merch and are regular visitors of Freddy Bear Pizza Place, as most of minigames starts there, and the older brother even locked the crying child in employees only zone. Him having an access to such a place must indicate that he has connection to somebody working there. This, along with the fact that the crying child was about to go deeper into the Freddy Bear Pizza Place for help from somebody he trusts, somebody important to him, who works in that pizzeria, makes me believe it was been their parent. And this somebody could have been Purple Guy, as we saw him in the same minigame in which Crying Child was trying to reach him. Okay, here I will list things that, despite being game, I could not explain in any way. First being the girl's room in the Crying Child home. Unless some Fox Fury bitch is also trans, which then I guess it makes kinda sense for his room to be girly, as a reminder of what he used to be. What am I speaking about? No, it doesn't make fucking sense, okay? Like, come on. Moving on, there was also the matter of phone call that can play during the nightmare section of the game. To my knowledge, the Crying Child would not have even had a chance to know Phone Guy, as he did work in Freddy Fazbear Pizza, not at the Freddy Bear Pizza Place, which the Crying Child would attend to. Also, he was especially cool about the incident, as if he had no connection to this, The box. What was the thing that crying child saw? Yeah, I have no idea. And finally, what was the point of FNaF 4? I can find no shit that actually has any weight on 3 games before. I mean, it seems to be a complete side story that had no impact at the rest of the lore or anything. It's not some grand start of the story as the killer was already at large by then. It wasn't the end of the story. It didn't give any light on purple guy behavior or acting. I mean, he is a father now. Completely absent and more interested in children of others than in his own. But the whole story still seems completely redundant, like inclusion of FNaF 4 is unnecessary to the story of the previous 3 games. And yet this was supposed to be the end? The grand final chapter? I am speechless at this point. And this is most likely the reason why 2 other games were made, because this game had started up a new story in FNaF universe. I'm finishing the video. It didn't exactly ended up as I hoped it would. I think I'm getting a little bit tired of FNaF, making those videos about it, and my brain is getting kinda, brain rotted because of it. I literally didn't know what was I talking about in the video as I was editing it. You'll probably know if you watch the video, that yapping section. I will get some subtitles to it. Some side context that I usually add about it. But hey, there are only 2 more to go. I will be finished before the end of the year and I will go on with something new. I still don't know exactly what it will be. And I guess there is nobody here that is actually listening to me and can actually give me any recommendation, isn't it? Silence, I thought of it. Yeah, nobody is here. I will figure it out though, by myself, like always I do. Anyway, have you ever wondered if, dogs can just eat 1 meal for their whole lives, just dry dog food, and they are happy and lively and so on, so on. I wonder why humans can do that, I mean, you just make some grain food that has like correct values, micro elements and so on, and then add some flavoring to it, something nice, like, and then voila, something for the brokest of people like me that can just survive of it. And if you gonna propose a normal dog food isn't kind of sustainable for long term, it kind of has a little different micro elements that people need, a little bit too little vitamin C there, maybe a little bit too much vitamin A, after a few months of eating it, you'll start losing hair and nails and teeth, and then you'll get some organ failure and you'll die. That's not very good idea to eat. Don't eat only dog food, you will die, remember that. Okay, I should be finishing with this, but you remember to comment, like, subscribe, and so on. I don't know what I'm talking about.